Do you want to know how to spend 3 days in Lake Bled? Well, here is your perfect itinerary. Day 1. Let's start day 1 off bright and early. That'll not only allow us to maximize our first day to the fullest, but it'll also give you an opportunity to capture a shot of the castle that is only possible during the early hours of the day. Starting out on the south side of the lake, which is located near to the town center, gives you the perfect opportunity to snap up a photo of the rising sun reflecting off of the famous Bled Castle. This 6-kilometer walk around the perimeter of the lake is an easy flat loop that offers some of the best spots for this picture. Now, with its ever-changing views and bench-lined walkways, well, here you're going to find plenty of viewpoints to stop and admire the views of the mountains reflecting off the lake. If you're feeling adventurous right off the bat on your first day, take a detour up to Mala Osojnica viewpoint, where at the top you'll be rewarded with the most perfect postcard aerial view of Bled Island and the Julian Alps. This is around a 40-minute detour, but it's well worth the hike. Aim to spend a total of about 2 hours on this early morning adventure before heading off for a spot of breakfast. Our Cafe Bled is located back on the south side of the lake where we first started our walk. Here you can sit on the terraces by the lake and enjoy a beautiful scenic breakfast. A must-try if you wish to feel like a true local is the trout scrambled eggs served with a double espresso. Now don't worry if you're not much of a coffee drinker, because a glass of freshly squeezed juice is also available. This also serves as a location for local artists and photographers to display their work. Now, taking a 22-minute walk back around the lake will bring you to your next activity of the day. Heading to the Pletna Boat Dock, which is located near to the Park Hotel, here you'll find traditional flat-bottom wooden boats that are still to this day rowed by hand. A return ticket to Bled Island and back will cost you between 15 to 20 euros. Now, the ride across is very serene due to the slow pace that the rower goes. This also gives you the perfect chance to snap a couple of photos out on the lake. Now, once you've arrived into Bled Island, you're going to be able to be greeted with the famous 99 steps. Climbing to the top will bring you to the Church of the Assumption, which dates back to the 16th century. Here you'll also find a wishing bell that was constructed in 1534. Once on the island, this is another great place for some more spectacular photos of the Julian Alps and the surrounding area. Now, a 24-minute walk back into the center, and only a short walk from where we had our first meal of the day, you will find Villa Preserin, which is an elegant lakefront restaurant with a glass terrace view of Bled Island. Serving up a variety of pasta and fish dishes, you can expect to pay about 32 euro for a main dish and a glass of house wine. Yeah, it might seem a bit pricey, but the view alone, oh, it's worth it, trust me. Be sure to save some room, though, for dessert, as the next place that we're heading to serves up some of the best cake in the world. Next, we're heading off to what I think is the best part of the trip. Let's try a slice of that original Bled cream cake. For this, you'll need to head back to Kavarna Park, as this is where it was originally created back in 1953. A slice here is about €3.50, or $4 if you're American, and you can expect a huge slice of the lightest custard and cream cake that you've ever had. Pairing this with either an espresso or even a beer while sitting outside is a perfect combination. Either a 20-minute walk or a short taxi ride away is Bled Castle, also known to the locals as Bledski Grad. Now, perched on top of the 130-meter cliff is the oldest castle in Slovenia, dating back to 1004. Yeah, you heard that right. 1004. Nuts. Now, there's a 15 euro fee to enter, but once inside, there's plenty to see and do. You can learn about the medieval printing, Slovenia's history, and even marvel at the ancient artifacts that are all inside the castle's museum. There's also a Gothic chapel that's still beautifully preserved that you can view. You can watch demonstrations in the blacksmith forge where they craft and sell souvenirs. Heading down into the wine cellar gives you a chance to bottle your own wine and stick on a personalized label onto the front. Now, before heading back down into the heart of town, be sure to stop off at the castle terrace. Here you'll get yet another stunning view of Lake Bled. Again, spending about 2 hours here will give you plenty of time to enjoy all that it has to offer. Now, for our first evening meal, we're going to head back around the edge of the lake to the Old Cellar Bled. Inside, you're going to find a rustic and intimate restaurant with stone walls and wooden beams. An absolute must-try when visiting is one of the local favorites, wild boar goulash with buckwheat zaganci? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Just ask them. Now, this traditional dish, paired with a Slovenian wine, will cost about 20 euro. Spend the rest of the evening back outside on the edge of the lake as this small town of Bled becomes illuminated in the night sky, which again offers a completely different experience as to what it does first thing in the morning. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see how you can explore more cities from around the world. Now let's get on to day 2. Day 2 starts with another trip to one of Slovenia's most beautiful lakes, but before we head off this time, let's get some breakfast. Now, most hotels around Lake Bled offer breakfast included in your stay, so this would be the perfect option to begin your day. If you fancy opting to eat out from your hotel, then grabbing a freshly baked croissant and a cappuccino from one of the many bakeries in the area will cost around €5. It's just as good. Now, from here, we're going to head straight toward the Bled bus station. Once you've arrived here, you'll need to catch the public bus to Lake Bohinj. Travel time is between 30 to 40 minutes, and a return ticket's going to cost about €10. Now, this isn't your average bus journey, though. This is a scenic mini road trip where you're going to see alpine meadows, mountain peaks, even some grazing cows if you're lucky. Arriving at Ribsevlaz, you'll be greeted with a charming village that's on Bohinj's eastern shoreline. This part of the country is known for its larger and more rugged lake. There's plenty to do and see here, but a few notable things before we get into the day's activities are visiting the stone bridge that allows you to cross over the Sava River. There's the Church of St. John the Baptist that has a small €3 entry fee. Now, this is highly recommended if you have some time, and along with that, there's plenty, and I mean plenty, of perfect picturesque spots along the way. If you're an adventurous person, then trying your go at paddleboarding across the lake is a must. So a chance to get out onto the water, it shouldn't be missed. You can rent a paddleboard for about €12 for an hour, but don't worry if that's not your cup of tea, because there's a lakeside walk that allows you to keep your boots on the ground and stay nice and dry. Now, once you've dried off from the water, then either jump into a taxi that you see passing by or take a short bus to Savica Trailhead. The cheapest option is via the bus, and it'll cost you about €5. Now, once you've arrived at the entrance, there's a small €3 fee per person. After that, there's a 20-minute uphill climb via the well-maintained stone steps through the dense alpine forest. Arriving at the top, you're going to be greeted with Slovenia's most famous waterfall that plunges right into an emerald pool. A great tip while visiting the waterfall is to bring a small lightweight jacket, as it can be cold up there due to the misty spray of the water. Take time to explore and capture some of the most truly remarkable pictures that will last a lifetime. Now, on your way back down into the town of Laz, we'll be stopping at Stara Fuzina for lunch at Gostilnia Mihovk. Inside this traditional restaurant, you'll find foods that the locals adore. Grabbing a dish of their grilled trout with potatoes for €15 is a true way to feel like a local. Hey, and why not wash it down with maybe a shot of that honey schnapps for just €3? I mean, come on, you're on holiday, right? Now, this next attraction is a little bit pricey, and it does require you to take another taxi journey for 10 minutes to the other side of the lake, but believe me, this is highly recommended and something that should definitely be on your itinerary list. A journey up the mountainside via the Vogel cable car. Oh my, I mean, this thing is incredible. A return ticket for this is priced at €28, $33 if you're American, but once you arrive at the top, you're going to be greeted by some of the best panoramic views really in all of Europe, but especially of Lake Bohinj and the Julian Alps. If you're lucky enough to be visiting on a clear day, then you'll even be able to see a glimpse of Italy. Yeah, it's that beautiful. The ride time is about 4 minutes to the top, and it also offers some picturesque views along the way. After, it's time to hop back onto the bus and make our way back to Bled. The bus passes through a small medieval town of Radovidka. Forgive my Slovenian, it's probably not that great, but if you have some time, it's well worth the visit for this hour. The cobbled main square is filled with medieval houses that offer great insight into how life back in the medieval era was. There's also a small bee museum that requires a small €4 entry fee, but it showcases Slovenia's beekeeping tradition. Yeah. All right, arriving back in the town of Bled, we're going to head out for our second evening meal of the trip. Located on the west end of the lake is Restaurant Sova Bled. Here you'll find a restaurant that offers the chance for you to watch the evening light fade over the island, while also tasting traditional dishes that have been elevated with modern presentation. Trying a bowl of their freshly made pumpkin soup along with their slow-cooked beef with mashed potatoes will cost about €27. Pairing this with either a local wine or a craft beer is a perfect way to wrap up your second evening. Now, the best way to travel around Lake Bled is undoubtedly by walking. There are many reasons for this, but some of the best features are only accessible on foot, and with the town and lake only being so small, it won't take very long for you to go from destination to destination. You also can see the scenic views every step of the way, as it's not only the lake that's steeped in beauty, but the little town also. It's got plenty of historic beauty spots for you to explore. Renting out a bike is another popular way for tourists to explore this town, as it allows you to do a loop of the lake in about 30 minutes and allows you to explore other local villages. To rent out a bike for the day, it'll cost you between €8 to €12. E-bikes are also common, but these are priced a little bit higher at around €20 a day. Now, there's also the option to use public buses and taxis, but these are only required when traveling to other villages that are inaccessible via walking or biking. Getting from the airport to Lake Bled is straightforward, as it's 35 kilometers away and only takes about 30 to 40 minutes to arrive at the lake. Now, the fastest and most convenient way is via a taxi or a private transfer. Taxis can run between 45 to 60 euro, and you're better off pre-booking them in advance, as otherwise the fare can be on the meter. A link will be left in the description below where you'll be able to pre-book a taxi. Public buses are the cheapest option, coming in at 5 euros per person. The journey takes about 1 hour and 15 minutes, and it'll drop you off at the main bus station in Bled. You also have the options of shared shuttle bus transfers or even the scenic train route, but this is the most time-consuming way and isn't advised. Visiting this beautiful area of the world is recommended any time of the year, but late spring, that's my personal favorite as the weather is warm but not too hot, and there are fewer tourists than peak season. During this time of the year, you can also expect long daylight hours as the sun is up for about 15 hours. There's also plenty of budget, mid-range, and luxury hotel options for you to choose from depending on your budget. A budget room can cost you anywhere from 20 euro to 60 euro a night, whereas a luxury one could start around 160 euro a night, and that bill, it can add up quick. Let's go on to day 3. Our third and final day sees us starting off with a breakfast at the Garden Village restaurant, only a short 5-minute walk away from the lake. Not only does this place serve up some of the best breakfast in the area, but it also offers a refreshing change from the other bustling lakeside cafes. Surrounded by greenery, you can try a bowl of their homemade granola with alpine yogurt for 6 euro. Pairing this up with a freshly brewed coffee, you've got a perfect start to the day, and all for under 10 euro. Now from here, take a short taxi ride to our first attraction of the day. Located only 4 kilometers away is the Vintgar Gorge. This morning adventure will lead you down a 1.6-kilometer wooden walkway, which takes you down the Radovna River. Here you're going to pass crystal clear pools, small waterfalls, and turquoise-watered rapids. To enter the gorge, it will cost you 10 euros for an adult and 6 for children. At the end of the trail, you'll be greeted with the impressive Sum Waterfall. This is the perfect location to stop and take some pictures of the water that falls from a 13-meter drop. It's quite the sight. After, you can either head on back the way you came or loop around via the St. Katarina Church, which offers very stunning panoramic views of the valley. For lunch, we're going to head into Bled and the Gostilna Mirka. Now, this family-run restaurant is located up the north side of town. Here, they're going to offer a variety of traditional dishes that are all quite reasonably priced. Trying a bowl here of their Jota stew, which includes sauerkraut, beans, and sausage for 8 euro, will have you feeling like a local. After lunch, we're going to take a 25-minute hike up to Ojstrica. But before we start that hike, it's a 23-minute walk to the start of the trail near Zaka Beach. Once you've arrived at the trailhead, it's a steep walk through the shaded forest up to the most iconic viewpoint of Lake Bled. The views from up here are once again stunning and give you the opportunity to snap up some photos of the lake from above. If you're feeling even more adventurous on your final day, then the further 30-minute hike up to Velika Ostojnica is absolutely worth it. Once you make it to the top, you'll be greeted with an expansive panorama view over the entire Bled Basin, the castle, and the Julian Alps. But it's a great tip to be sure to wear appropriate footwear, as the trails can get a little slippery. Now, heading back down the trail to Zaka Beach, you're going to find the perfect location to sit back and relax on the quieter side of the lake. Grab a tub of gelato from Sobra 102 for 3 euros and relax by the side of the water before we head off to our final attraction of the trip, which is the perfect evening activity after a day of hiking. Either opting for one final walk along the edge of the lake or hopping into a taxi for about 15 minutes, you'll arrive at one of arguably the best located wellness centers in all of Europe. Located above the lakeside promenade, you're going to find the Ziva Wellness Center. With an evening spa ticket costing 35 euro if you visit in the week and 40 on the weekend, once you're inside, you'll get access to facilities like an infinity pool with direct views over the lake and island. A wide variety of different saunas includes infrared and steam, plus access to the pools and relaxation terraces. There's also the option for various treatments if you wish to totally wind down on your final evening. This is honestly the ultimate way to soothe the muscles after 3 days of hiking and exploring. There's a link left in the description for you to book treatments and check out the offers that the spa currently has running. After all that relaxing, we've got the perfect location for your final meal. Located in the same hotel as the wellness spa is Juliana. Now, inside, you'll find a relaxed ambiance serving healthy dishes that are Michelin star worthy. The meals here are carefully composed with local vegetables and artisan touches. You can expect to pay about 22 euro for a main course, which is perfectly paired with either, again, that house wine or a craft beer, whatever you like. And that wraps up our 3-day adventure of Lake Bled. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed that itinerary and want to see how to explore other cities from all around the world, then click the video on screen now.